I came across this video of Bret Weinstein challenging Sam Harris to defend his views on COVID, of which Sam has been wrong on almost every aspect, and yet Sam continually uses Bret as an example of someone who's gone off the rails and has been totally wrong on COVID. Bret and his audience have said, well, let's just talk it out. If we have been right and you have been wrong on almost everything, don't you owe it to us to at least try and hash it out and pressure test your ideas before you slander us all over the internet? Have a podcast or have a moderated debate. But surely, since we're two public intellectuals who historically haven't been afraid to debate the hard subjects, can't we simply figure this out in person? And Sam has said no, we can't. Bret is just so dishonest, and he'll spread so much disinformation so fast that I won't be able to debunk the lies quick enough in real time, and so he'll win by making me look bad and catching me off guard. And so no, I won't debate COVID with him. The information is already out there that I'm right, and even just granting a conversation with him gives his side a certain degree of legitimacy, and that is the ultimate evil that I will not be party to. And so this is the drama. Now, this is all heap-on-heap violence, which I'm not trying to stop, but let's just analyze the situation for a second. Bret is operating on an outdated version of liberal software. He's internalized the completely imaginary scenario where public intellectuals are actually interested in getting to the truth, or that there's this free market of ideas and he and other liberals just want to compare them and see who's right based on facts and evidence. Well, none of that is true in 2023, if it was ever true at any point prior. Sam is operating on an up-to-date version of liberal software, and in the early days of the pandemic, he got the update immediately, unlike Bret, who still hasn't received it. And the update is this: the government response around COVID was clearly not about public health, it was about public control. It's the only way you can look at what they did and have it make any sense. They really only have one play these days. Label the person who's pointing out the inconvenient facts as a dangerous conspiracy theorist. That's it. That's the move. Joe Rogan is an insane kook who's taking horse dewormer. Of course, he was taking the human form, which has been prescribed millions of times and taken by a huge number of people in Congress and even Obama himself. Or the lady who was clearly trying to kill her husband with fish tank cleaner, which they said she's just a crazy conspiracy theorist who's making dangerous homemade brews. This is their play. So while Bret was almost right on everything, he must be labeled as a dangerous nutjob who's went off the rails and must be ignored, because if all of the public listened to him, the government couldn't get away with the tyranny that they did. Bret, of course, is still a clueless lefty who is continually blindsided by his own side's dishonesty. Free speech or engaging in dialogue with your opponents to figure out who is right was just a tool they used to gain power. And once they made it through the door, they slammed that thing shut, and poor Bret is left outside, sheepishly knocking on the door, waiting for a response. But Sam is never going to engage with Bret. Sam will continue to say that Bret is dangerous and unhinged and totally wrong, and he'll ignore Bret on that basis, as that's all he needs to do. This is what they've done on every major issue since the JFK assassination. It always gives them an out from facing reality. Herman Cain said that libs sin. They shift the narrative, they ignore the facts, and they name-call. This, of course, is what Sam Harris does. And to be fair to the left, it works almost all the time. Well, I can't platform so-and-so, they're a blank and blank. What Bret also fails to understand is that the left is now at the point where they demand complete and total obedience and submission to their narrative, or they'll ruin your life. Jesse Kelly has his sky is green theory, that the system could wake up tomorrow and convince half this country that the sky is green. News program after news program would have experts on to discuss the newly green sky. Professors would teach about it. Our entertainers would all have a video up on Instagram about it in short order. Our brain-dead athletes would repeat it. Nike would be running commercials showing a green sky by the end of the week. Every Hollywood movie would have a green sky. And then the shaming would begin. Oh, the shaming. Anyone talking about a blue sky would be treated like some deranged conspiracy theorist. Families would divide over it. Facebook would ban you for discussing blue skies. You get the idea. Because there are no longer cultural checks outside of a few people with balls on the right, we now live in a time when a huge percentage of your countrymen occupy a world of make-believe. What's interesting to me is that Bret and his ilk never realized that right-wingers are 5,000 miles further down this journey on every issue. They flipped on Bret in an instant for one single issue, and he sees now how dishonest they can be on that. Now do every single issue, and you have the right wing. I've always said, it's not left versus right, it's right versus wrong. They are simply wrong on every single thing they believe to be true. And I think Bret would agree with that analysis when it comes to Sam. It's not political. Sam is just wrong. They're wrong. And not only are they not aware that they're wrong, they're holding up their Dunning-Kruger Award and running around bragging about how smart they are. And Bret literally mentions this as a reason why Sam is irritating him. The cockiness, the inability to admit when he's wrong.
What I don't understand is why he's on the offensive, right? Why is he taking a victory lap? Why is he torturing logic in order to rescue his rightness from the evidence? None of that makes any sense. And at some level, I guess he's entitled to do that. But what he's not entitled to do, and look, Sam, among other things, is a moral philosopher. And my claim is going to be that Sam is not entitled to be taking a victory lap where he has been wrong and making the arguments that he's making if he is not also willing to make those arguments to me so that we can pressure test them.
As a kid, did you ever play a game like Cops and Robbers or Cowboys and Indians, and there would be that one kid who couldn't play by the rules? You'd finally catch him and shoot him, and the other kid would say, "Well, I can heal now, so I'm not dead." Or, "I'm invincible, you didn't get me." They change the rules of the game so that they'll never lose. And this is what Sam Harris and the left does. You get them pinned in a corner and you say, "Aha, I got you."
Ha, gotcha.
And then they go, "Well, you're a racist, so it doesn't count. You're a dangerous conspiracy theorist who's going to get grandma killed." Or you get them pinned in the corner and say, "Aha, I got you."
Ha, gotcha.
And they say, "Well, I'm going to sick the ADL on you and ruin your life and basically extort you. And then they'll get you on the no-fly list. And then they'll cancel your bank accounts, get you fired from your job, and ban you from every social media platform right down to Spotify and Pinterest." So anyways, if Bret somehow sees this video, here's my advice. You're not dealing with a good faith interlocutor. And he's proven it time and time again over the last 2.5, 3 years. Nothing you have to say can penetrate his iron defenses of perceiving himself to being morally right and you being a dangerous, immoral grandma killer who won't bend the knee to the green sky narrative. He's a waste of your time. I've also made a video called "What If They Just Say No?" that details even further just how beyond reason our elites are now. I keep saying that all peaceful and civil solutions to our problems are like cramming for a test. Normally, it would work, but we're too far down the line. You can't reason with these people. That option is off the table. In a functioning society, yes, you should be able to sit down with somebody, like a Sam Harris, and hash out a disagreement in a perfectly sane and civil manner. But those days are gone. Sam is just going to continue to be in his information silo, and his audience will continue to support him. And even if some people abandon him, he's more than willing to take a small financial hit on this issue to prove how morally righteous he is to all of his billionaire friends and friends in the government. And that's what it comes down to. When the issue of COVID became the issue of our lifetimes. Everybody had a choice. It was the most important choice, actually. You could either just look at what was happening and be rational and honest wherever that took you, or you could side with the system that was obviously lying to gain power. And that's what Sam did. He sided with the system, whereas Bret sided with reality. And you can see it makes an ass out of you. Mike Pence sided with the system, and now he's an ass. He's forced to defend the FBI because it's the system, and he wants to be the system, and so he must show his fealty to it, and it makes him look retarded because he's wrong. The same thing with Sam. He's more than willing to take a hit in the dignity department, and the reputation department, and the intellectual honesty department, simply to secure his relationship with power, which clearly he values more than any of those other things. So this is who Bret is trying to deal honestly with. It's like trying to divide by zero. It just doesn't work. Anyways, I hope that was of some value to you guys. If you enjoyed this video and type of content I'm making, consider giving this video a like or maybe subscribing. If you want to support me, my links are down in the description. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.